Hey, so welcome everybody to this new video. I'm totally convinced that in this video we're gonna capture the first images that actually look like autumn colors. So technically speaking, the conditions are quite miserable. There's no color in the sky, it's just this empty gray. Then every now and then it's raining and, well, I've already had a little bit of that. So there's no light today, it's very lifeless. But at the same time, I don't think that's an issue today because we are getting the very first autumn colors, as you can see behind me already. So I know I promised you autumn colors and this image is not, but have a look at this. This is incredible. So as I've mentioned, it has rained and these trees, they're covered in moss, they're completely soaked and it just looks so like a rainforest, so ancient, so drenched in the rain, so moody, so much atmosphere in this image. It's incredible. What I think makes me want to shoot this image is it perfectly translates the conditions and the atmosphere and the feeling that I'm having while taking this image. If I show you this image without any context at all, you will instantly know it was a rainy day, it was overcast, it was very moody and atmospheric. And yeah, this image just perfectly translates this feeling. So from the technical standpoint, I'm using a polarizer because from the background there's some light flooding in, which is not perfect, but I can't really get rid of it. So yeah, and I really want to make sure that there's no glare on the tree. This is really this moody, saturated, greenish feeling. So yeah, taking a polarizer for that. I'm also bracketing this image just because the background is quite bright and I don't want it to be completely washed out, but I still want to have all the details in the trees. I think potentially I could get it in a single shot, but just to be sure, I'm gonna bracket this and we'll be fine. What's great about these miserable conditions is that there's no rush. You know that the conditions will be exactly the same, the lighting will be exactly the same in an hour from now. So if you're framing up a composition, you can just relax, take your time, set it up properly, because you're not missing out on anything. There's no light, it's going to be gone in 10 minutes, it's just going to be exactly the same in an hour from now. So now let's go and find some autumn colors. Also, I promised you some autumn colors, and here we are. I think you can just tell by looking at my surroundings how incredibly flat and dull everything is today. But that's why we're shooting color, right? So I'm shooting a tree right over there, and it has caught my attention first of all because it is red, and it obviously makes it stick out between all these green surroundings, especially in this incredibly dull and flat lighting conditions. And secondly, all the branches, because all of them are growing upwards, but at like different angles and apart from each other, and then some are more close to each other and intertwined, and yeah, just combined with the red color, it just makes for some interest. So the problem with these incredibly flat lighting conditions is there's no saturation, there's no life to this image. I even have the polarizer on to bring out some saturation and we'll get the very last bit out of the colors that is possible in these conditions. But even with the polarizer, it still looks incredibly flat and lifeless on the back of the camera, so yeah, it's gonna be a difficult one. If you like my style of photography, I have a landscape photography course available and it's the first link in the description, and I teach you everything you need to know about landscape photography, being out in the field, settings of your camera, tips and tricks, and also post-processing, so everything you need to know to start out. Or maybe if you want to change the look of your living room, I have quite a few of my images available as a print in different sizes and finishes. It's also in the description. Oh man, look at that. I can understand why normal people who don't do landscape photography would be rather inside than outside, but it just, yeah, don't have to say anything about it. Just foggy, visibility's down. It's just completely lifeless and dull. But I don't want to complain because I think for today it has just helped me give really a lot of mood and atmosphere to my images. Alright, this is likely gonna be my third and final shot of this video. So I don't want to put down my backpack, and I also don't want to stand on this path because it's just completely muddy and completely soaked from all the rain. So rather gonna stay in the grass for a moment. Nonetheless, we're shooting this tree line over there. What makes this interesting is, well, obviously all the colors, because most of the trees are turning at least somewhat to autumn. So we have oranges, red, and especially one tree is sticking out because it's already bright yellow. It's quite beautiful. So I'm zoomed in at around 200 mil, and I'm making sure that I'm darkening my exposure quite a bit, because in these conditions you can get most of the images in one exposure. I can lift the shadows afterwards, but I just want to make sure that I am not blowing out any of the highlights. So even though the sky is still quite bright in the background, I don't think it is too distracting. I just want to make sure that I'm not blowing out any highlights, because that would take away from the image. So in this image, the colors work quite a lot better than they did in the last image. And this is because I'm composing the shot against a bright sky, which just naturally introduces quite a lot more contrast. So it just makes the colors appear more darkish, more contrasty than they might have been in the last image. And that just helps amplify the colors, give them some saturation, some contrast. They definitely work quite a lot better than they did in the previous image. I hope you enjoyed this video, and especially the images, as much as I did. So like, share, subscribe, write a comment, that always helps the channel. If you want to see more of my videos, I have an on location playlist in the description. Apart from that, thank you for the support, and see you in the next one. Bye.